I'm back. We had a little bit of an interruption there. I was expecting a phone call, and ironically, it just arrived when I'm trying to make a video. It's the way it is, isn't it? So real life, real dish. This is what happens. So let's crack on. So I'm finishing that mince. That's not quite cooked yet. In the meantime, let's crack on with what vegetables I'm putting in. So I'm putting in an onion, red onion, not white. Generally in Mexican cooking, they always use red, so that's kind of the first twist, as it were. We use red onion. And also, the style of cooking, they generally do over fire, so which means there's always a smoky element. That's the second twist. So I'll come on to what that's going to mean for the dish. But so all I'm going to do, I'm just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just chopping onion. I've just took the skin off. Give that a little stir. It's let a little bit of water out. But what I'm actually going to do now, and I normally do once it's kind of gone from the boiling back to frying, is start to give it a bit of seasoning. So we season in layers. I've said it before. I'll say it again. First bit of seasoning going in there, bit of black pepper, which is good, and I'm going to initially chop the red onion. It's not super fine. All I'm looking for really is small bits that are going to blend in with the mince. Basically, that's all I want. So number one, let's get our red onion in there. There's our nearly there. And if there's any bigger bits, just give them a little chop through. Like I say, I'm not too fussy. If maybe you want, because I've done it before with other dishes, whether you wanted to grate it in or anything like that, just so it dissolves into the dish. It's fine either way you want to do it. But I can smell that frying now, which is good. So our mince is essentially that's cooked. Now the other thing which I haven't mentioned about cooking mince and chili, so I'm not actually going to do this, but I'll just kind of enlighten you as to what one of the things you can do and one of the things that they do in making a chili like this. Its flavour comes from browning. Now with normal things like the spag bol and stuff like that, spaghetti bolognese, you just kind of brown the mince as in it's just cooked. Whereas with mince, with this, because the type of dish it is, if you want to get a bit more flavour in, and I've seen loads of different methods actually cooked in the oven and all sorts, Tom Kerridge and loads of different ones, but to let it go that a little bit further till it just starts to get some colour on it is a good thing. So I'm kind of saying that, and I'm buying some time really because, well, the onion's chopped, so that's going to go in. So let's get our onion in there. But no, it's a real thing. You can get a bit of colour on that, and it wouldn't cause a problem. It's actually a good thing. So I'm going to get the onions in and stir that around, and they'll start softening. What I might have to do is put the lid on, because I don't want the onions to soften and cook. But now they're in with the mince, I kind of want them to, they're not going to fry as much, because the mince will like over fry, or potentially over fry, and all I want to do, I'll just get myself getting all this rubbish moved, get it out of the way, there we go. Yeah, I don't want to over fry, but I just want to make sure that's soft. So let's get that in. So next thing I'm going to put in, I'm going to put chilli in a couple of different forms, but I am going to put a bit of fresh chilli in. I'm just going to put one in, because I mean, I like hot things, but not everyone does. I'm totally aware of that. And so I'm tempering this a little bit with a fresh, because I am putting the dry in as well, so I'm not going to go too daft. Which, like I say, this is one of the parts of the cooking which it's totally up to your own personal taste. It's all personal preference. If you want it to, so all I'm doing now, I've chopped them into sticks, and then I'm just going to go across, so they're all small bits. Worst thing is having like a big bit of chilli, you know. You just want it to be there, but you don't want to munch down on half a chilli there. That wouldn't be good. So get that in as well. So that's started to brown a little bit on the bottom, that's minced, which isn't bad. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that down and I'm going to stick a lid on. I find my garlic press, because I'm putting garlic in as well, 3 cloves of garlic. So I need to move my rubbish. I'm all 6s and 7s again. You can, if you want, grate it in, wouldn't be a problem with this, because this is the point. Actually, do you know what, I'm going to grate it. I am going to grate it. And the reason I'm going to do that, because it just has a quicker effect. And you can hear that's gone from frying out to steaming, because I put the lid on. And I've turned it down a little bit as well. But as soon as you put the lid on, it will steam. So all the moisture will come up, and there we go. And just soften everything rather than fry it hard. There we go. Last one in there. Let's just give that a stir around. Brilliant. So I'm going to give that 1 minute. Turn it a little bit because I don't want it to be. Once the lid's on, there's no problem browning there because it will stain. So let me get rid of all it. I need that. Get rid of the board. Get rid of everything else I don't need. Get rid of the knife. Get rid of the little wipe down. That's a bit better. There we go. We don't want that chilli. That can go. That's all good. So let's whip through the rest of the ingredients. So what is important with chilli is cumin, which is, there we go, ground cumin. I'm going to be using, this is a kind of a real thingy flavour, a real core part of the flavour is cumin. Next one, oregano. It's going to get a couple of teaspoons of olive, a couple of teaspoons of cumin, a couple of teaspoons of oregano. I've got some paprika, but I'm using smoked. Can you remember I was saying kind of it authentically has a bit of a smoky flavour? So I'm going to achieve that by using some smoked paprika, and I said I was putting chilli in, which I am, but this time I'm using a chipotle chilli. Now, fine if you want to just use ordinary chilli, totally fine. All I'm trying to do is go down the kind of the smoked edge route. So instead of just using ordinary chilli, chipotle chili powder is actually a dried, it's got a smoky flavour to it. Really nice. So I'll be putting about 2/3 of a teaspoon of that in as well. So while I've been the other thing that's going in, tin of Toms, which we need, and we need some red kidney beans, and the other thing, last but not least, some chicken stock. You can use beef, and beef is probably better, but I haven't got any, unless I use the cubes or the pots, which I don't want to do. I want to use this, which is chicken stock. So this is a better quality because I made it myself. So I'll be using that. So let's have a quick look at this. I'll have to get myself a tea towel again. Where are we? All these tea towels, honestly, they're everywhere. And then when I want one, they're not there. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's looking good. That's all softened down. I can smell that. Now it's time to go on with your spices. So here we go. So, spice number 1 we are going to put in is our cumin. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons, good teaspoons as well, of cumin in there. There we go. Now, spices can burn, so I'm going to put them all kind of on. I'm not going to stir them in straight away. I'm going to leave them on top. Then I'm going to stir them, and then I'm going to go in with my liquids. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of oregano, which decent teaspoons of those. So if a bit falls over the side, don't worry about it. There we go. A couple of teaspoons of oregano. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Get that in there. Nice red smoked paprika. Get that in there. That's good. That's for colour as well as flavour. And last but not least is our chipotle, and you can smell it's a smoky chili powder. So we're kind of going more towards the authentic, to about 2/3 teaspoon. We're kind of going more towards the authentic route because we're trying to make it a little bit smoky. So let's give that a stir. Let's get on with kind of just temper them spices a little bit, and then I'll get the heat up and get the tomatoes in. So all we want them spices to do is just warm through, wake up, release some of the oils, which yes, there's oils in powders, yes there is, and then we'll get in. I can smell it. Once the perfume starts coming off, you know it's releasing the flavours. So that's good, which is good enough for me. Last but not least, well, say last but not least, a couple more things. Tin of tomatoes. I use the decent quality ones. These are good. Get that in there. Bring that to the boil. And we've got one more thing before the kidney beans go in. It's our stock. Now this is going to reduce down. So you're going to put it in and you think, whoa, that looks a lot. Well, what we're going to do is we're actually going to simmer it till the stock reduces down till it becomes the consistency we want, basically. So that is going to go into our can. It's about 300 mils. So it's about just nearly a can full of chicken stock or beef, whichever you've got. That's going to go in. Get rid of that. Get rid of the scissors. We don't need them. Give it a stir. And it's looking good to start with. It's looking good. I'll bring it over just so you can have a look. All the spices have kind of wakened the dish up in terms of colour, but you can see it's quite loose, and those flavours now need to develop. So that's an important part. People go, well, that's cool. You brought it up to the boil. It's done. It isn't. What you need now is for those flavours in the pan to start interacting with each other, developing with each other, and as it concentrates and reduces down, just turn it until it comes to the boil. And the other thing I'll do is season now as well. I'm just going to give it I can kind of taste the sauce, taste the smokiness there 100% straight away. But I'm going to give it a little bit of seasoning, not all, because it's going to concentrate down. It will concentrate in salt. So all I'm going to do is give it a bit now, because I put the tomatoes in, I put the stock in. And actually, for the amount of tomatoes, that'll probably be a good pinch. I should have given it one good 3-finger pinch. I give it a couple of small ones. So the last thing to do, like I said, them flavours are going to meld down together. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the kidney beans. Now, I'm going to give them you can put the juice in if you want to. I'm just going to drain it off because I don't want to give it more liquid than I've already given it, to be fair. So I'm going to get them out the tin. There we go. Like I say, I'm not really interested in giving it any more liquid. There's enough. I'm not even going to rinse these because it's not really a problem. It's all flavour in the sauce. There we go. Kidney beans in there. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Job done. Give it a little wipe down. Give it a stir, and now that is going to simmer away. It's just going to blip away with the lid off because we want to reduce it down. We don't just want to, like, if you like, just cook it and keep it the same consistency. We want to reduce it down. We want to reduce that stock down. So I'd say probably about 30 minutes, 20-30 minutes, and I'll try it and I'll check it. And then the final thing that I'm going to put in, believe it or not, a bit of a secret ingredient. It's not so much nowadays. Most people know about it. I'm going to put a bit of dark chocolate in. Again, this is more of an authentic thing. You don't get this in your jars of chili con carne off the shelf. No, you get it from the chocolate bar. But in all seriousness, yeah, one of the things that I do like, if possible, is just to inspire people to get away from picking a jar up and just doing something that's fairly easy. You know, you've got a jar of this, you've got a tin of tomatoes, you've got a tin of black beans, a bit of mince, a few spices, let's say jars of spices, and that's pretty much it. So we'll leave that do its thing. We'll come back. I'll just maintain a little blip on there, like I've said before. We control the heat. We don't let this control out what was cooking. We're controlling it. So once it gets that little blip there, I'm going to turn it down to just nicely bubbles away for the next 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. And once it's down to the right consistency, we'll come back, have a look, get a bit of that chocolate in. And what will that do is it'll increase the complexity of flavour. We're not making it a chocolate sauce. You need to get that right straight away. Oh, chocolate, yeah. It just adds a little bit of sweetness and bitterness at the same time, and a complexity that just makes it that little bit more special. The other thing that people put in, believe it or not, is things like, and they're putting in Mexico, a little bit of shot of coffee. Yeah, complexity of flavour adds another depth, another dimension to it, and then just balance the flavours at the end of it. Just check for sweetness. You might need to put just a tad of sugar in there because you've got tomatoes. If you're using cheaper tomatoes, it could be a bit acidic. Make sure it's salty enough, blah blah blah. We'll come back and have a look at it anyway. So that's chili on the go, and at the end we'll see, and it'll be looking good. So bye for now.